Hi, Com 103 students. This is Miss Newman, and I want us to talk about the resume, specifically how to create a really good resume because that's our next assignment. Cover letters was last week, and a resume does have a lot of the same information as a cover letter, but a little bit more, and it's in a different format. So I want us to talk about how to format your resume. So as you can see, I've gotten into Microsoft Word and I've typed resume in the search box. And of course, there's a ton of resumes, but based off what cover letter template you chose, that's going to be the resume template that you get the closest to. So for instance, if several of you guys did the red cover letter, we'll want to go with the red resume. So just click on it and click create. It'll download, of course. And so you'll enter your information just like before, but notice a lot of the headings will determine what goes where. So on this particular one, it starts with work experience. Remember that you'll want to put your most current work experience first, and then what you did further in the past next. So it'll go the most present one. If you have a current job, you'll list that one first, and then a job you had before that would go next, so on and so forth. Your objective is a one-sentence summary of what position you're applying for. So for instance, if I'm applying for an English teaching position, it would say something like, I'm interested in becoming an English instructor at Wallace Community College, and then that's your objective sentence. Your skills, you want to play up the skills you have that will be applicable to the position. So for instance, if you know you're going to do customer service would be a skill to play up. Specific types of welding would go there as well. Your education is just like work experience, where it'll start with your education you're doing now, so your Wallace degree, and then if you have another degree from another college, it would go next, and then your high school degree would go under that. Notice here you've got volunteer experience or leadership. Some of you might have volunteer experience or have been like a manager at another company. If you do not have volunteer experience or leadership, and also just to expand your resume, it's really smart to play up not only the skills that you have, but if you have any knowledge of tech. So for instance, if you know software that's used for welding or for your position, play up that. So you can change this heading from volunteer experience and leadership to technology knowledge or tech skills, or something that's more applicable to the position you're applying for. So if you have certifications, that's also a good place to certify there. You could list out classes taken, and then list out the classes that you think are most applicable to the position, that'll be the most impressive to the employer, that you already know how to do TIG welding, or you already know how to do perms, or whatever your class that you've covered a lot of information that some folks might not already know. So that's really important to remember. You'll want to make sure that you list a phone number. So notice at the bottom of this one, we've got the telephone and email. List a telephone number that has a voicemail. So I can't tell you how many students I've had to call for various reasons, and their voicemail's full, or they haven't set up the voicemail, or this person doesn't have voicemail capability. Make sure whatever number you list that they can leave a voicemail, because there's a good chance that the employer will want to call and set up an interview with you. And if you don't have that voicemail option, there's a really good chance that you might not have that opportunity to have the interview. Same thing goes for your email. Whatever email you list, of course, it needs to be a professional email, not like Hot Mama 67. It needs to be your something like a school email or a Gmail or Yahoo mail that's professional sounding. It might be a variation of your name, or something that is more professional and not like Hot Mama or Biker Dude or anything too silly. But whatever email you do list, check it often, because there is a chance that the employer sends you an email maybe a couple weeks after you apply asking for a good time to interview you. And so it's important. I would check it daily. I mean, you know how easy it is to check emails on our phones now. Just pop in, check it for a couple minutes, make sure nothing important's come in. because you don't want to miss that opportunity, whether it's an interview or they might have follow-up questions or they might need you to turn in something extra for your application. But just make sure that you do list a good email for you. Of course, some folks don't necessarily mess with Twitter or LinkedIn, but if you do create a LinkedIn account, that's where your information is going to go there. Twitter, that would be really good. Say if you post, like for cosmetology, you might post pictures on your Twitter of hairstyles that you've done for your classes, or if you already work at another salon, you could also post that as well. So one thing to remember, in the old days, resumes were very long. One of my resumes that I turned in back in the day, back when it was popular, was a 5-page long resume. Now you only want it to be 1 page. You want it to be very quick and easy for the employer to just glance over a 1-page document, essentially get your full summary and know exactly about your background, your work experience, your education, what you're interested in. So make sure you leave it as just 1 page. Also, in the past, they used to want a list of references on your resume. That's no longer how it works. You do not have to list your references on your resume, because often on these websites that you're applying for, they'll have a separate section for references. Or once you make it further into the interview process, they might ask for a list of references, maybe for a second or third interview. So just make sure you do not list your references. That used to be popular, but now they really just have streamlined it to where if an employer gets a stack of 50 applications, they can get through them in a day instead of trying to read through 4 and 5 pages of resumes and it taking a week to get through the pile. So if you do have any questions about resumes, please let me know. I'm always happy to help you guys, and I look forward to reading your resumes. Thanks, and have a great day.